Hey Socialites, welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm Ariell. I do mainly beauty videos, fragrance, and lifestyle. So if those are the type of videos you enjoy, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and come join the family. So in today's video, we'll be trying some fragrances from the house of Commodity. Now, if it sounds familiar to you guys, I recently did a full review of Commodity's latest fragrance, which is called Commodity Juice. So let's open this one up. And it's the Commodity Exploration Kit. And so it does come with a pamphlet that basically explains to you guys how the fragrance line works, like what type of fragrances that they have. And here we go. So there are 3 different variations of 6 fragrances, okay? And then the bottom does come, oh wow, with a whole little stack of little fragrance cards that you can spray your little tester cards. And so what's unique about Commodity fragrances is they have 3 different what they call scent spaces, which is personal, which is going to be the more close to the skin scent that's sort of lightweight and maybe doesn't last as long, softer in scent. And the same scents they also have in expressive, which is like that medium tier, where you smell it a little bit more, maybe like moderate or a little bit more than moderate projection, lasts a little bit longer. And then they have bold. So this is going to be the strongest version of the fragrance that lasts the longest and just more robust in smell. So let's test these out. I have tried Commodity Milk before, bold. And when I tried bold, it was so strong it almost took me out. But I know some people love bold. But when I took it back to the store, that's when I smelled expressive and fell in love and realized, okay, I might be an expressive girly, but I've never tried personal. So I'm excited to try these out. Let's jump right into it. So we're going to start off with Commodity Book and Personal, and which is supposed to be the lightest version of it. Now Commodity Book is supposed to be sort of like a woodsy scent. How did they capture that? It reminds you of an old book. If you remember or if you know what an old book smells like. When I was younger, we used to do a lot of thrifting growing up. My mom used to love going to not only thrift stores, but like garage sales and stuff. She's really into vintage. And this is what it's given. It smells sort of woodsy. You smell tea, almost like a green tea note, and a slight bit musky, but it's nice. So let's move on to Book Expressive and see what that gives. So although Expressive does smell like Book Personal, this one smells slightly more earthy. I feel like whatever the earthy note in here is stronger. So there are quite a few woodsy notes in here, and it says in the mid we have cypress, which is some sort of green note. It's definitely amped up in the mid, so I do prefer personal more than I do expressive on the book. So let's see what Commodity Book Bold. So Book Bold smells just like expressive to me. Let me see how it smells on the skin. So it probably just lasts longer. It smells the same, but it probably lasts longer. Very earthy, and it gives very much old book. So what book is going to give across the board is earthy and woodsy, sort of aromatic as well. So next up is Commodity Gold, which is supposed to be warm, have vanilla, sandalwood, and amber. This is nice. It's soft, sweet, ambery, vanillic. This is cute. It's my type of fragrance. So let's see what Expressive is given. Stronger version. Smells the same except stronger. It's sort of creamy as well. So let's try out Bold. Whew. So Bold takes a turn. Bold is amped up on the woodsy note. Yeah, it's sandalwood and amber in here. So Bold takes a turn. I feel like Expressive and Personal smell similar. Maybe Expressive is a little bit stronger. But once you move on to bold, the woodsy note is very much amped up. Definitely takes a more masculine tone as well to me, but I feel like with book and gold could go for a man or a woman for sure. So in gold, I definitely prefer expressive. So commodity velvet is roasted almonds, rose petal, and amber. That's different. It smells smoky. It smells smoky and ambery, and I feel like the rose note is taking very much a back seat. So let's try expressive. Expressive smells the same, just a little bit stronger. So velvet bold definitely has a stronger spice in there. It smells like the personal and expressive except amped up spice. So let me see if I can pull up the notes, exactly what that spice note is. So there's cloves in here, and cloves can be strong, you guys, but I feel like in the personal and expressive is dialed back. So the cloves and the birch definitely takes center stage more so than the other two with the bold. So I definitely like expressive better than I like bold with velvet. So moving on to commodity milk, which I'm familiar with and I love, but I've never smelled the personal. I've only smelled the expressive and the bold. So milk has marshmallow, tonka bean, and mahogany wood in it. Really nice fragrance, especially for fall winter. It is so yummy. Personal is immediate yet wow. So personal makes me realize why the name of it is milk, because I didn't really get it for expressive and bold. So it's a softer marshmallow scent that can put you in the headspace of maybe milk. I get why it's called milk. A sweet, I get the tonka bean and the creamy marshmallow. Slight woodsy dry down, but it's really soft. I really do like personal. This is my type of fragrance, y'all. I like it. I already have commodity expressive, but it's in a travel size, so it's very much a stronger version of personal. So I do like expressive more than personal, even though they smell alike. It smells so good. And I get a good amount of wear with this. The spicy note in here lasts longer than anything, but I usually get over 6 hours of wear when I wear commodity expressive. And then the bold. Now commodity bold to me is smelling real similar to expressive, except stronger. But when I had it on my skin, like when I initially smelled it like a year or so ago on my skin, it took on some sort of spice with the bold that was it was too much for me. So let's see what it does on skin. Very similar. That strong note that was standing out to me the first time I smelled it like a year or two ago is not giving me that now. So I'm not sure. I know I love expressive, but I might love bold just as much. Moving on to paper. Now I've never smelled paper before. I'm wondering how different paper would smell from book. Quite different. It smells like familiar. So paper has molecular skin scents thanks to sandalwood and ISO E Super. So paper is supposed to be one of those sort of skin-like scents, maybe similar to Clean Reserve Skin or Glossier You. Let me see what it smells like on my skin. Soft and skin-like, but it does take on a paper-like tone. You definitely get like a sheet of paper from it, but in a soft skin-like way. Very unique. I'm not mad at it. So let's see what paper expressive. So paper expressive smells the same, except stronger. It smells slightly more smoky. There's a smoky tone in here. It's a little bit more smoky, but it's still sort of soft like personal. Okay, so this one is paper bold. So paper bold smells a lot like expressive to me, where the sort of smokiness is a little bit more pronounced. It's nice though. So last is gonna be commodity moss, which has fresh green scents, highlights bergamot, oak moss, and petitgrain. So let's see what this gives. Typically I'm not a earthy or petitgrain girly, but let's see what this moss is giving. Interesting. So it opens up bright and citrusy and sweet. Like to me, it gives like a candy sweet, like a Jolly Rancher maybe. A little earthy, But if you're not crazy about earthy, don't count this out, because I'm not crazy about earthy scents, but I like this. Pleasantly surprised, I do like Moss Personal. It's sweet and candy-like a little bit to me. Moss Expressive. Okay, so once you move up to Expressive, it's giving green, 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 almost like grass green. So that moss is very prominent. It's still sort of sweet, but it's not as sweet as Personal, and it's way more green earthy. So let me see what that smells like on skin, because sometimes if a fragrance is too earthy and you don't like it on paper and in air, sometimes it just works on skin. So it's a little sweeter on skin. I like it better on skin, although Moss Personal is my favorite. And then let's try Moss Bold. Why do I like Moss Bold more than Expressive? So Moss Bold is earthy as well. It gives that green earthy, a little sweet, it's fresh. I'm really surprised I like it like that. Let's try it on skin. So for some reason, I do like Bold. Oh, it smells luxe. It's hard for me to tell if I like Bold or Personal more when it comes to Moss. So Moss Bold is really nice. Moss Personal is sort of sweeter, but it's nice as well. And Moss Bold also has like a clean aspect to it, like almost like soap. Like a soapy clean. So out of the 18 fragrances I just smelled, my top 5 would probably be number 1 fave, Milk Expressive, and then Milk Personal number 2. And then we would have Moss Personal, and then we would have Moss Bold, and then Milk Bold would be last. So that would be my top 5. And then for just the scents in general, like regardless of the scent space, my number 1 favorite would be Commodity Milk. And then it would be Commodity Moss, and then Commodity Gold, Commodity Paper, Commodity Velvet, and then Book would be last. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I really did enjoy testing out so many fragrances. Interesting. I did not think that Moss would make it so high up on the list. So comment down below. Let me know if you guys have tried any fragrances from Commodity and which ones are your favorites. So I'll have everything linked in the description box for your convenience. Be sure to check that out. If you're new here, welcome. I would love for you to come join the family by hitting the subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. 'Cause I've been where you are. You're too scared to show me love, 'cause too fresh with the scars. Well, I don't have the answers.